Hello friends. Tonight I want to take you on a journey into one of the darkest legends of the Shahnameh, a tale of a king whose pride opened the way for him, and on his shoulders the demon raised two black serpents. Serpents that each night fed on the brains of the young. This story is not just a terrifying legend. It is a symbol of the darkness and tyranny that cast its shadow over Iran for 1,000 years. So, prepare yourselves. This is the tale of Zahhak the Serpent-King.
Long ago, the world was in the hands of Jamshid, the king who ruled for 400 years. Under his reign, people were freed from hardship and suffering. He granted them arts and knowledge, from weaving and shipbuilding to taming wild beasts. His age was like paradise on earth. But pride, like a hidden poison, entered the king's heart. One day, seated upon his throne, he looked around and declared aloud, "All this glory and prosperity is from me. The world stands firm because of me. Why then should the people not worship me as a god?" A heavy silence fell upon the court. The nobles lowered their heads in shame. The king's pride burned like fire in their hearts, and the people turned away from him. This was the chance Ahriman, the spirit of evil, had been waiting for.
In the land of the Arabs lived a tall and ambitious young prince named Zahhak. Seeing the moment ripe, Ahriman came to him disguised as a handsome man and said, "O prince, I am a master of an art unlike any other. Let me serve you." Zahhak laughed and asked, "And what art is this?" The stranger replied, "The art of cooking. I will spread before you a feast that no king has ever dreamed of." Zahhak, being young and fond of pleasure, accepted. That night, a banquet was laid out with wondrous dishes, roasted birds, fragrant stews, and foods whose colors shone like gold and whose scents were like spring flowers.
Zahhak tasted them and was astonished. Each day new meals were brought forth, and each day he grew more enchanted with his cook. Days passed. Then Ahriman returned, this time in another form, and said, "O prince, if you wish to be king of the world, allow me to kiss your shoulders. This will be my gift to you." Deceived, Zahhak lowered his head without hesitation. Ahriman approached and placed 2 kisses upon his shoulders. Suddenly, Zahhak screamed in terror. From each shoulder burst forth a black serpent.
The courtiers fled in horror. The young prince collapsed, clutching his shoulders, crying, "What curse has befallen me?" Doctors and sorcerers were summoned, but no cure could be found. Each day the serpents raised their heads and hissed. At last, Ahriman appeared once more, this time disguised as a physician. He said, "O king, there is no cure for these serpents. The only way to quiet them is to feed them each day with the brains of 2 young men. Otherwise, they will destroy you." Zahhak, fearing for his life, agreed. From then on, every night, 2 youths were brought to his palace, their brains torn out to feed the serpents. The cries of mothers and the grief of fathers filled the land. Darkness spread over Iran. Zahhak seated himself upon the throne and declared himself king of the world. Jamshid, the former king, was driven into exile. For years he wandered the mountains and deserts, until at last Zahhak captured him. With a sword, Zahhak ended his life. But in the midst of this darkness, hope was kindled. Brave men among the court physicians secretly saved half the victims. Instead of killing 2, they sacrificed 1, and the other they smuggled away into the mountains.
There, in the valleys of Alborz, the youths grew strong and free. Years passed. Zahhak ruled for 1,000 years. His golden throne rose high, while the black serpents still hissed upon his shoulders. The people remained in chains until the day a man rose up, Kaveh the Blacksmith. When Zahhak's men came for his son, Kaveh entered the court and found his child bound in chains. He cried out, "O Zahhak, enough! I will not obey this tyranny." Zahhak was enraged. "Blacksmith, all men bow to me. You too must submit."
But Kaveh seized the royal decree, tore it before the king's eyes, and lifted his leather apron upon his spear, shouting, "This is my banner. Whoever longs for freedom, follow me." The people gathered around him. From streets and bazaars to mountains and plains, the cry of freedom rose, and upon every tongue was a name: Fereydun, a young man raised in the mountains, now ready to deliver the land. Thus hope returned to the hearts of the people, and Zahhak, with all his power and his dreadful serpents, could no longer sleep in peace. His 1,000-year throne began to tremble, for the people, after long silence, had awakened.
For 1,000 years, Zahhak ruled over Iran, and his serpents were fed with the blood of the young. But in the end, the cry of Kaveh and the hope of Fereydun shattered the darkness. The story of Zahhak reminds us that no tyranny lasts forever. Even if it takes 1,000 years, the dawn of freedom will always rise. This was another of the wondrous tales from the Shahnameh. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you won't miss the next legend from the Shahnameh. Until the next tale, farewell.